The first light of day had barely touched Atlantis skyline when Bambi stepped out of the hotel room, where she just wrapped the second part of her raw documentary. Her eyes were swollen from a sleepless night, her voice nearly gone, but her thoughts were racing. She had no idea the storm she'd unleashed in under 24 hours. Her documentary had crossed 3 million views. Her DMs were flooded, some castmates offering quiet support, others sending legal threats. Fans were blowing up her comments with hashtags like #JusticeForBambi and #ExposeTheTruth, turning her heartbreak into viral fuel. Her inbox looked like a disaster hotline, therapists offering free sessions, producers sending NDA letters, lawyers panicking, but none of it shook her like the message that came just after midnight. It was from Scrappy. Just 2 words, let's talk, no cameras, no crew, just them after everything they've been through. She didn't trust him, but a small, stubborn piece of her still hoped he meant it. He was the only one who knew her before all of this, before fame, before filters, before betrayal. So she said yes, told him to come early, no glam squad, no makeup, just truth, just closure. The car ride was almost a quiet. Scrappy drove, like a man carrying a sentence. Eyes fixed on the road but sneaking glances at her like he was trying to decode the wall she had built around herself. He looked older, tired, like guilt had aged him overnight. But she didn't blink. Her arms crossed tight over her chest, her gaze frozen on the window, as if she could climb out of the car through sheer will. Then her eyes caught something, a burner phone, stuffed halfway under the passenger seat, cheap, dusty, face down like it had something to hide. But it pulled at her like a magnet. Pull over, she said, her voice sharp as a blade. Scrappy glanced at her. What? I said pull over. Now. Her tone dropped the temperature in the car. He slowed, edged to the shoulder. She leaned down, grabbed the phone, and looked at him like he had stabbed her, his face drained of all color. What is this? She asked, her voice tight and trembling. It's nothing, he blurted too fast. No lock screen, no passcode, just secrets, and when she opened it, the flood hit, deleted messages. Dozens, but some were still there, screenshots, voice notes, text to a contact named TK. She scrolled. Thanks for leaking the right tape. Couldn't have done it without you. She's running with it now. Just what we needed. And then one line shattered her world. I just couldn't let Bambi keep playing me on camera. She froze, her hands trembled, her chest caved in. Her vision blurred, not from tears of sadness but rage. You were working with Tasha, K? She whispered, her throat catching fire on the words. It wasn't like that, Scrappy tried to explain, but she slammed the phone down on the dashboard. You let her destroy me, she roared. You gave her my grief and called it strategy. Scrappy opened his mouth, but nothing came out, just the sound of silence and regret. He looked like a man already sinking with no rope left. I thought if she exposed VH1, we could both get out clean, he muttered. Bambi let out a bitter laugh. No, you thought you could ride the wave while I drowned. You wanted to look like the victim while I looked insane. Then the phone buzzed again. New message, TK, glad the leak worked. Tell her to chill before I leak the rest. Her eyes widened. There's more, she gasped. Scrappy lunged for the phone. Don't, she snapped, jerking away. There's more. He didn't speak. That silence, it was a confession. She threw the door open and stormed out, slamming it so hard the car frame shook. Paparazzi were already on the block. TMZ, the shade room, fake fans with burner accounts. Her moment of healing had turned into a bloodbath. The man who once held her down had handed her over to the wolves and Tasha K. She'd been orchestrating it all. That evening, Bambi went live. No glam, no filter, just tears and fury. This is a phone I found, she said, holding it like a weapon. This is betrayal. Not just cheating. This is what it looks like when someone sells your trauma to a blogger. Her chat exploded. He what? Not again with Tasha. Burn the car, sis. She didn't flinch. She read every message aloud, one by one. The internet lit up. Fans clipped it, meant it, broke it down like a crime scene. Castmates flooded her line. Mama D called 3 times in 10 minutes, leaving. Voicemails ranging from I told you so to I'm writing for you now, baby girl. And in a tiny jail cell across the city, Tasha K smiled. Her assistant handed her a printout of Bambi's live. Someone had written across it in red ink. He's exposed. What now? Tasha K leaned back and whispered. Perfect. Let them tear each other apart. At VH1 headquarters, chaos exploded, a full-blown crisis meeting executives, attorneys, PR teams pacing like it was a fire drill. Some wanted to release a statement, others wanted total silence. But it was too late, the damage was done. Viewers weren't just upset, they were outraged. This isn't reality TV, this is psychological warfare. You used her breakdown for ratings. I'm done with VH1, sponsors pulled out. Commercial slots cancelled. Streaming platforms quietly began removing season 12 clips. Bambi didn't just speak her truth, she sparked a movement. But beneath the trending hashtags and fan wars sat a woman unraveling in her apartment. Surrounded by untouched takeout, buzzing phones, and glowing screens, Bambi sat frozen. Her voice was gone, her soul quieter still. All she could hear were those texts over and over. That silence in the car. That look in Scrappy's eyes, not guilt, not sorrow, execution, and worse. Tasha K still had more. That wasn't just a threat. It was a bomb waiting to drop, and Bambi knew it. She unlocked her phone, hands still trembling, and saw a new voicemail from Tamika. Her voice came in low and panicked. "We need to meet. Now. I found something. And you need to see it before Tasha drops her next episode." Bambi didn't think twice. She threw on a hoodie, stuffed the burner phone into her pocket like it was evidence, and fired back a text, "Send the location." Across town, Scrappy was spiraling, no sleep, no appetite, just scrolling. Doom refreshing his mentions until the phone died in his hand. Every media outlet had picked it up. Scrappy exposed for working with blogger Tasha K. Bambi's breakdown engineered by her own husband. Love and hip-hop's real villain unmasked. He couldn't breathe. He scrolled through old selfies with Bambi, zooming in on memories that now felt like proof of his own destruction. He tried to type out a post. "I messed up. I was scared. I didn't mean to hurt you." But none of it felt honest. He couldn't hit send. That's when a new message came from a blocked number. "You want to clear your name? Better tell them what Tasha had on you." His chest tightened, threatened, not exactly, manipulated, absolutely, trapped, completely. He remembered the moment Tasha K slid the contract across the table. Her threat wasn't subtle private text between him and a cast member from 2 years ago. Dark enough to end his career. He never meant to throw Bambi under the bus. But he had no choice, his silence had bought him time. But now, he was paying in full. He tried to call Tasha K's team, no answer. Then, another message, "Don't call. Watch the teaser." Drops in 5, his blood went cold. He opened Instagram and saw it. At Unfiltered Redishack, burner phone PT, 2, Scrappy's real motive. The caption burned through his soul. "You thought I only had her receipts. Baby, I've been filming. See you Friday." And back in the quiet corners of Atlanta, Bambi met Tamika in a shuttered salon. No hugs, no smiles, just tension and a laptop screen lighting the room. "She's about to drop something dangerous," Tamika whispered. "And this ain't just about you and Scrappy anymore." She opened a folder titled Raw Footage Confidential. Inside were clips never meant to air. Scrappy on camera with producers. "If we paint her emotional, I'll come off supportive." Reunion footage. Tasha K. grinning backstage while Bambi sobbed during her confessional. Group chat logs from production. One message pierced like a knife. "Need a meltdown this week. Bambi's due for a breakdown." Bambi covered her mouth, tears falling not from grief, but from pure rage. "They planned it," she whispered. Tamika nodded. "Every scene." Then came the hammer. "There's another phone," she said quietly. And Tasha wasn't acting alone. Bambi blinked. What? She had help from another cast member. Tamika said, "And if I'm right, it's Erica Mina." The breath left her body. "No," she murmured. "She wouldn't." "I thought that too," Tamika said, handing over a printed email. "Read it." The header was cold and simple. Tasha K gives Erica Mina Dropbox link. Subject: use as if she goes live. The timestamp: one day before Bambi's trailer launched. She collapsed into a chair. They were ready for me. Meanwhile, in a cold jail cell, Tasha K sat with her lawyer. No lights, no glam, just her, a camcorder, and a crooked grin. "I gave them a chance," she said, staring into the lens. "But if they want to act like I did this alone, cool. I've got confessions, I've got edits, I've got contracts, and when I'm done, they'll beg to be forgotten." She leaned back and whispered, "Roll the tape." Hours later, the internet exploded. Bambi was trending. Scrappy was trending. Tasha K League 3.0 was trending. The teaser showed Scrappy backstage. "I just want her to snap. Then I'll look like the good guy." The good guy. Cut to Bambi. "They want me to cry on cue." "Fine." Then a producer's laugh, and finally, Tasha K's voice. "Scrappy gave me access. That's how I knew what she posted before she posted. The internet imploded. Fans went wild. Scrappy and Bambi were being unfollowed in real time by each other, by castmates, by brands. Sierra dropped a vague but brutal tweet, told y'all they were both playing roles. And just minutes later, Mama D went live screaming into her front-facing camera, "My son is a pawn. And that girl, she ain't innocent either." Alliances began collapsing. Loyalty lines shifted like quicksand. And in the middle of it all, somehow, Tasha K had dragged every last one of them into her hurricane. Within 3 hours, the entire timeline flipped. That one clip Scrappy sang, "I want her to snap," looped endlessly across TikTok, YouTube, and Twitter. The man who was supposed to be the quiet, regretful ex was now the calculated villain, and Bambi, who fans once held up as a survivor, was suddenly under surveillance. Every clip of her was dissected like it was evidence. Was she acting? Was the breakdown staged? And if Scrappy gave Tasha K full access, why didn't she stop it before it aired? In the eye of the storm, Bambi sat on her kitchen floor, surrounded by chaos. 3 phones beside her, 2 of her own. 1 burner, 1 brand new, purchased with cash under an alias. She kept refreshing her feed. Each scroll brought another remix of her trauma, her tears layered with sound effects, slowed down clips set to sad music, memes using her pain as punchlines. This wasn't network exploitation anymore. It was global mockery. Her inbox was even worse. Sponsorships paused. A mental health campaign that once called her a face of strength gone. A producer texted her directly, "Might be a good idea to lay low, lay low?" She wanted to scream, but instead, she opened her notes app and typed just one sentence, Chapter 2, when silence becomes survival. Across the city, Scrappy was holed up in Mama D's house, hiding in the guest room like a man waiting on a sentence. Even she wasn't speaking to him now. After her viral rant, she walked in, handed him a Bible, and said, "You better find your soul in there, because God knows I can't save you this time." Then she walked out without another word. He sat there alone, watching fan-made edits like a man watching his own public funeral. Manipulator, snake, gaslighter. But the worst label, the one that echoed loudest, believable. The last comment he read before powering off his phone felt like a dagger. "I defended you for years. Now you're just another man who let a black woman take the fall for your ego." Then came the knock. The silence shattered, the doorbell rang. It was Tamika. She stood in the doorway, stone-faced. No pleasantries, no questions, just truth. "You knew she was gonna break," she said. Voice steady and cold. Scrappy shifted, avoiding her eyes. "I didn't plan it that way," he muttered. "But you didn't stop it either." She stepped inside and held up a flash drive like a loaded weapon. "This is what I didn't release. Notes, emails, deleted scenes, the receipts you thought she'd never see, the producers you lied to. It's all here." His face went blank, frozen, then her voice dropped like a gavel. "You have 48 hours to respond, or I'm releasing everything and not on YouTube." She tilted her head. Hulu already called. The threat wasn't empty. The timer had started. Back inside her cell, Tasha K was preparing her final act before release, a revenge monologue disguised as a documentary trailer. Her team had taken a single unfiltered phone clip and turned it into something cinematic. The trailer titled Tasha K's Truth, the Prison Edition. It opened with her voice playing over shadowy shots of courtrooms, headlines, and weeping. Confessionals, they used me, they used each other. And when I said I was going to expose them, I meant every single one. She held up a torn production contract to the camera like it was a relic from war. Bambi wasn't the only one who signed. Scrappy signed right under the clause that said, "Cast conflict is encouraged if it enhances story arcs." That line alone ignited Twitter. The trailer dropped at midnight. By 2 a.m., new hashtags were trending. Hashtag fake victim, hashtag cloud chaser, hashtag Tasha KFILS, and in the comments, fans weren't just curious, they were begging for a full docuseries by sunrise. Bambi had over 300 voicemails, some from castmates, some from fans, some from law firms, but one message brought her to her knees. It was from Tasha K. Her voice came through cold and methodical. "You wanted war, but you never imagined the weapons I kept hidden. Check your email. I just sent you something that proves you weren't the only one who got played." Heart racing, Bambi opened her inbox. There it was, an attachment, a screen recording. She tapped play. The footage showed Scrappy texting not Tasha, not a producer but a cast member's assistant. He was feeding them everything, her filming schedule, the edits she'd approved, even notes on her wardrobe beneath it. An audio file titled The Real Setup. She hit play. His voice filled the room. Calm, cold, calculated. "I told Tasha to leak that first clip. I needed Bambi to go public fast, make her look unstable. That way, when I drop my own footage, I'm the one they root for." The phone dropped from her hands. Then came the scream. Not a confession booth scream, not a reunion set breakdown. A real scream, one that cracked walls and ripped through silence like thunder, and in that moment, something in Bambi broke wide open. She was done with filters, done with quiet pain, done playing the role they cast her in. She grabbed her own camera, turned it on, and stared straight into the lens. "No edits, no producers, no filters, just truth," she said. "Forget what you think you know. Here's what you didn't see." She paused. Scrappy, Tasha, the producers. They didn't just twist my image, they erased me. But I kept receipts too. And I'm about to release every last one. The footage was raw, shaky, emotional. But by noon, it had 5 million views. The internet erupted. They tried to erase her. Scrappy is done. This is why you never trust edited tears. VH1 tried damage control. They released a statement. We are investigating behind-the-scenes incidents and have placed key staff on administrative leave. We do not condone the manipulation of mental health for entertainment purposes. Too little, too late. Bambi's legal team fired back with an official statement. We are filing for emotional damages, exploitation, and breach of contract. The burner phone leaked footage and whistleblower evidence form the foundation of our case. Charges pending. Elsewhere, Scrappy tried to salvage what was left. He went live once, twice, 3 times. But each time, the comment section devoured him. You set her up, you're a disgrace, delete yourself. But the death blow? That came from someone no one expected. Erica Mina. She went live on her own account, no lashes. No filters, just shadows behind her and pure fire in her eyes. She held up a small pink flip phone, snapped it open, and said the line that cracked the internet in half. They weren't the only ones with burner phones. Then she pressed play. Tasha K's voice rang through, grainy and sinister. Once Bambi breaks down, we pivot to Scrappy's redemption arc. If he cries enough, and we make it about fatherhood, the audience flips, guarantee the live cut out. But the damage had already detonated. This wasn't drama, this was betrayal as strategy. Scrappy's redemption, scripted. TASHAS villain era. Calculated. Bambi's mental breakdown. A storyline sold as trauma porn. Every tear, every scene, every behind-the-scenes whisper, produced, choreographed, monetized. And just as the dust began to settle, Bambi posted one final video, no visuals. Just a black screen, just her voice. They scripted my collapse, she said. So I scripted my revenge, then silence. One final message appeared on the screen in white text, the Bambi file. Final chapter coming soon. The internet wept. Tasha K smirked and Scrappy. He turned his phone off for good.